the companies and the entrepreneurs who win in IoT are going to be the ones who find out how to bring clear and honest benefits to people.
Makes sense.
So today on ReadWrite, we've got an interview with GE, but not any part of GE, their incubator labs in Kentucky. We're going to be talking about what GE is doing for connected devices, how this works with GE overall, and most importantly, what this means for the future of ice brewed coffee. Today on ReadWrite.
Well, we love having you here. Thank you for coming. We're going to be talking about this wonderful product we have here in a couple of minutes. But first, we just want to ask you a couple questions and kind of understand what is FirstBuild, why did GE start it, and what is that all about? What was GE trying to accomplish with FirstBuild?
That's a great question. So FirstBuild is actually a physical and online community. So the physical spaces happens at GE's FirstBuild micro factory in Louisville, Kentucky. It's about 15 minutes off the headquarters of GE Appliances. And what it really is a maker space where it's an open space where community members from the local area can come in. They can see everything that we're working on constantly. They can participate with us in design challenges, sharing their ideas, but then they can also use it just as a free open working space where they can use our tools. We've got CNCs, we've got laser cutters, we've got woodworking equipment, everything that anyone could possibly need to make a project. So that's kind of the physical space. The online space is a co-creation website where people can share their ideas on a new appliance, and they can literally see their ideas go from a concept all the way through the creation of a final product. And we encourage people to get deeply involved in it. So we'll do things like launch a design challenge where we'll have kind of a basic specification for a product that we wanted to come up with, like we did for this cold brew coffee maker. And we'll tell people, it needs to be able to make about 6 cups of cold brew coffee in less than 10 minutes, and then give them kind of a layout and some of our brand language information, and then we'll ask them to come up with a compelling design for the product that would sit on someone's countertop. So we try and get people engaged at all stages, whether it's just creating an idea, giving us some feedback on a concept, or even getting really deep into the industrial design.
And you've created this great platform, but of course the platform is only as good as the makers. How do you find the makers? What's interesting to you?
So there are kind of multiple channels. When we first started out, we spent a lot of time talking to makers at maker fairs. We went to MakerCon for a couple years and really got to understand well what the maker mentality was. We actually made a maker-focused refrigerator that has USB ports in it, so a maker could create any feature they wanted in a refrigerator and have it connected up to the internet. So for example, we took those and we put them out into maker spaces across the nation, and someone came up with a Jell-O maker that could tell you when your Jell-O was done. So it had this off-axis motor that would rotate, it would tip up the Jell-O, and it would weigh the other side of the Jell-O. So when the weight shifted, it would know that it wasn't yet finished.
Right.
If the weight didn't shift, it would know that it was set up. So we really did a strong outreach at our inception to makers. And we also do stuff like hackathons. So we'll invite makers across the spectrum, whether it's software, hardware hacking, the electronics guys and girls, to come into our space and work with us to come up with new ideas. So the last hackathon we hosted, someone actually came up with a concept for coffee roaster inside your oven, and that's where we started really getting deep into the coffee space. So we're really interested in getting outside perspectives, not only from makers about the things they like to make, but the concepts and the benefits that they're enthusiastic about getting from their appliances.
And as well as the hackathons, you also have a design challenge.
Yeah. So the design challenge for this product, we've done about probably 10 design challenges since we opened our doors about 20 months ago. The design challenge for this one was actually really interesting in that we knew that we were going to bring a product to market, and that's a really, really enticing proposition for a maker to get involved with, because who doesn't want to see their idea go out into thousands or millions of homes at some point? So we offered people the opportunity to get involved in the design challenge, make a little bit of money on the upfront, but then we're also giving a % of our Indiegogo funds to the makers who came up with the concept in the first place. So the better we do on our Indiegogo campaign, the better the makers will end up.
Now explain the relationship with Indiegogo.
Indiegogo is just a great place to sell products. So we started working with Indiegogo about 16 months ago. we found that Indiegogo was an awesome place for us to prove out that there was a demand for our products. So backing up just a little bit to explain why we have gone to Indiegogo, First Build is all about testing whether or not a value proposition is going to gain traction in the marketplace. So like I said, my job is to make sure that we launch about 12 products per year. Now, when you launch 12 products per year, some of them are going to be successful, some are going to be unsuccessful. Indiegogo happens to be a perfect platform for testing whether or not a value proposition is successful, because people actually pay their own dollars to see the product come to life. So if we meet a threshold that's set on Indiegogo, then we say it's a go, we're going to make the product. We think that it's a valid project. So we actually went to Indiegogo about last February, so February 2015. We launched the Paragon induction cooktop. We did a $350,000 campaign, which we felt was a pretty successful campaign. And so we proved that there was a value proposition behind the project, and we ended up making it, and we've now delivered that to our customers. We went back again in the summer of last year and launched a nugget ice maker, and we did almost a $3 million campaign on that one. And then we're going back to Indiegogo with the Peak cold brew coffee maker.
So I'm glad you segued there talking about projects. What is this?
Yeah, so I'll actually let Justin announce this. He's kind of our resident coffee enthusiast.
Yeah, so cold brew, as everyone knows, it's a great drink. You know, it tastes sweet in the mouth. It has a much smoother flavor than your hot brewed coffees, and a lot of people enjoy it. It's becoming very, very popular these days, especially in the summertime. But it takes, if you're going to brew it at home, it can take 12 to 16, sometimes even 24 hours to brew. And while I enjoy that nice flavor, I can't seem to remember to do it the night before. So I was having this problem. My wife really loves cold brew coffee, and for about 4 days I was forgetting to actually set it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So and I make the coffee in our house. So I came. We invited in a local coffee shop, Sarnagas Coffee in Louisville, Kentucky. They're nationally known. They had best espresso cup at Coffee Fest for 2 years running. And so they roast coffee and deliver coffee fresh to us on a weekly basis. And they came in to take a look at brewing concepts, and I consider them part of our community. Even though they're a business, you know, they came in, spent their own time, and we sat around a table and talked about how could we improve cold brew, how could we make it and deliver it fast. And so we came up with different ways to do it. We left that meeting, and I immediately went to work that night trying different concepts. This was one of the concepts that we tried, and
was this made at the First Build
This was
Labs?
100% made at all the ABS. It's all food grade. It's all like ready, safe. Everything was made with the exception of maybe the power supply that's plugged into the wall. All the electronics behind we actually cut the PCB boards, soldered them at our site. We've got reflow soldering, pick and place machines. All of this technology we have at our hands and fingertips. And so in about 2 weeks we cranked this guy out, and I'm really proud of our guys for doing it. You know?
No, we've been having it all morning, and it's absolutely fabulous. So
Thank you.
You're not leaving with this, by the way. So
Oh,
just want to let you know. So this is great. We're talking about sort of the traditional appliance businesses, talking about cooktops and coffee makers and ice makers, but we're entering the world now of connected devices and IoT. And where do you see First Build going with that?
So we pretty much put Bluetooth connectivity into the products that we've got. We haven't yet decided whether or not we're going to throw Wi-Fi in this, and it's just a matter of deciding where the value propositions are. I think for this particular product, there's a really interesting opportunity to get people involved with sharing recipes. So coffee is an obvious use for the product, but effectively what we've created here is a home infusion chamber, which is something that most people don't currently have, but I think people could get really excited behind, because you could throw fruits and other types of things into the chamber and then be able to infuse flavors into a variety of different kinds of beverages. And so as a company that caters to kind of that maker or the try it out and figure out whether or not it works, we're always really interested in finding out what people are actually doing. There's the what you design the device for, and then there's what people actually use it for.
Right.
And being able to connect this up so that people can actually connect with each other on it, I think is going to be one of the priorities that we start looking at going forward.
So you're definitely starting to think about how community and products are working together as you build these out.
right.
That's great. Well, we have one last question that we always ask everybody. It's part of an ongoing series, but for each of you, what does IoT mean to you?
So to me, it's right now it's a promise. It's kind of a promise that's lingering out there that still is not yet fully realized, of being able to be gain benefits through connecting with your technology and having it intimately close to you. I will say that I'm torn. I've got two sides of me. I know that there are benefits, but I also know that there are downsides. And I think right now there are a bunch of companies trying to grasp at trying to get the benefits, but there are too many downsides.
What are some of the downsides?
It's the interruptions. It's the interruptions in my daily. To me, it's interruptions. Every time I get notification on my phone, it's an interruption of my thought process. So to me, as a consumer, I think this might be a personal thing. I'm trying to find harmony with my devices, and I think IoT has the promise of bringing us in harmony with technology, but right now it's still too chaotic, too much additional clutter in the consumer's life. So the question that we're trying to answer is, how can we bring benefits to people in ways that the technology doesn't just get in the way. And I think the people who win, and that ultimately the companies and the entrepreneurs who win in IoT are going to be the ones who find out how to bring clear and honest benefits to people.
Makes sense.
I look at it as it improves my life. It will improve my life, and in some ways it has. I've got the Nest. I'm connected on my thermostat, my home security system. Being able to access those from San Francisco if I want to, and adjust the temperature on my house, adjust the temperature on my water heater, do those types of things really does improve my life, because I'm not always thinking when I'm walking out the door that I need to turn those lights off and I'm ready to go. So there's benefits to it. I think that some of the challenges are, to me, the biggest challenges that I find are just getting connected. Getting that pairing process, whatever it is, with whether it's with Wi-Fi, or if where we live, our internet connections aren't always robust. So if that system goes down, how do my appliances, how do my devices overcome that? We really need, I think, a better internet system. I think I don't know what it's like here in San Francisco, but we're looking at getting fiber optics cabling through our city, and I'm a really big fan of that. I think that's going to really free up a lot of these opportunities to use IoT.
Well, great. Well, we appreciate you guys coming by ReadWrite, and we'll be looking for this online.
Yeah, this if you want to learn more about it, this actually is just the proof of concept design. We've got a winner of our design challenge now, so we'll be redefining what it looks like to sit on a countertop. But if you do want to learn more about it or follow it, the website is peakcoldbrew.com. That's PIQUE coldbrew.com.
Great. Thank you very much.